You might be happy as a fan of the Three Lions of England, and also maybe you might be happy because you're a Real Madrid fan, because Jude Bellingham gave us an astounding performance against Mexico. I think he's now the first player since Diego Maradona to score 2 goals at the Estadio de Azteca in Mexico. So you could see that interesting historic backing of the whole Jude Bellingham performance. I think everything that happened yesterday between the Mexico and England was bound to how Tuchel decided to manage the game. The in-game management of Thomas Tuchel was exceptional, because just imagine when Ezri Konsa had the red card, England were leading 2-0. Queiroz had to, score 1 goal to get close to the equalizer, and everyone thought England would be out of the game because of the red card, and Mexico was putting much pressure on England. But with the in-game management of Tuchel, they had another penalty. It became 3-1, and later on, there was another penalty from Raul Jimenez. England had to manage the game. From that point, Raul Jimenez scored the second goal for Mexico to the final minute. I think the referee added 11 minutes to it, and if you were an English fan at that moment, you would never be happy because there will be a lot of pressure on you. Yes, so fortunately, England had to escape with a narrow win against Mexico 3-2, and it was interesting. One thing about this whole thing is Simpsons predicted Mexico to be in the final. That was in 1997, one of their movies. And finally, everyone was expecting that script because there has been a lot of predictions Simpson did, and it came to pass. But this time, football proved Simpson wrong, and Mexico couldn't qualify to the next stage of the competition. And it's all good. It's all good. They put out a massive performance. Javier Aguirre has built a strong team, but against England, they fell short because the English national team came prepared and they were ready to qualify to the next stage of the competition. So kudos to England and kudos to everyone. This is Mr. Marfo Sports, and I think when you come here, you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe. Very important. You have to put us on post notifications, so when you drop a content, you'll be the first person to view. But let's talk about the Spanish national team and the Portugal game tonight. And let's understand the fact that these two clubs have not been exceptional in this tournament. That's one thing people don't see. The Spanish national team is now trying to find their feet. And I think against a team like Austria, this was when you could see the Spanish national team, growing into the game in terms of performance. The Portuguese national team already, people have been complaining about the performance of the players and also the performance of Roberto Martinez. So this is going to be an epic game. But you see, one thing about this game is, no matter the situation and no matter the form, it's a big game. It's a big game. So it's going to be a nice game at the US of A. That's Arlington. AT&T Stadium is going to be an interesting game then. But you see, the last 10 games of both teams between Portugal and Spain, 3 wins for Spain, 3 wins for Portugal, and 4 draws. So it's a balanced, fixture. You can't predict who is supposed to win. You might choose your sentiment. You might have a favorite team you are supporting or something. But these teams have proven several times that once they meet, it's a classic game and you can't predict who is supposed to win the game or who's the favorite of the game. Maybe you might think of Spain being the favorite because they have an edge over Portugal in recent times. Portugal's performance in the World Cup is not looking sharp. But you can't take away the fact that this Portuguese national team too can cause havoc in the Spanish national team. So we should understand the fact that it's going to be an interesting game altogether. Now, one thing I make once and say, this game, if the game is going to succeed, if a team is going to succeed in this game, it all boils down to tactics and individual brilliance. Now, the tactical aspect of the game might play even 70% of what is supposed to happen today. So if you're Roberto Martinez, if you are that's Luis de la Fuente, I think you must be tactically sound in this game. You must know how to manage the game. You must know how to build the right system, the right approach to enter into this game to be able to have a peaceful result or a right result to qualify to the next stage of the competition. Yes, but was a way of beating the Spanish national team. That's the main thing. I think Portugal will need to do 3 things. I think right now, this Spanish national team, maybe a player like Cristiano Ronaldo might not have enough strength to be doing defensive work off the ball movement, pressing and everything. But there is one thing the Morocco and Canada game I learned. I think the Canadian manager learned that in terms of tactical flexibility, control of the game, Morocco is ahead of them. And he had to do something different. He had to take the control away from Morocco. That's why after the game he said, in terms of control, we were the better side. This is what he did. Now, you see, when it comes to the transition, Morocco goes on a double pivot, which includes Ayoud Boadi. And Ayoud Boadi always receives the ball in the first line of transition or the first line of control or the first line of build-up. So what he had to do was, now we will defend in the 4-4-2 approach. But the 4-4-2, we will make sure that our front two, they are not going to press higher, but they will do a zonal marking or a zonal pressing. Now, the zonal marking is when they will do a shadow marking around the two pivots who were supposed to receive the ball from the defense, so that it will force the Moroccan national team not to progress centrally. But Morocco was trying to progress centrally. But one thing that happened is, whenever they try to progress centrally, because there are two shadow markers and also there are 4 players aligned at the back of the shadow markers, it was very difficult for them. That was one thing. It was supposed to be a 6v2 in that approach. There's 4 at the back, 2 in front of them. So it was forcing Morocco to go on the wings. When they go on the wings, this Canadian team will overload the wings and force Morocco to lose the ball immediately for them to get control. So from the first minute until the 45th minute, we could see the Canadian national team taking control over the Moroccan national team, which was unusual. I think I might have some stats here concerning what really happened. In the first half, Morocco managed to play one shot and it was never on target. That shows how the strategy of the Canadian national team coach, overcame the Moroccan national team in the first half. So, if you are Roberto Martinez and you are entering into this game and knowing perfectly that your attacker, someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, is not having the strength to do something like that or press, then you have to, do a shadow marking or a shadow pressing, so that players like Rodrigo Cascante and also players like Pedri, who always will be the first receiver of the Spanish national team balls, will not receive the ball. Now, that will force them to go on the wings. Forcing them to go on the wings, maybe someone might say, oh, there is Lamine Yamal. But if you are playing against Lamine Yamal, there is one thing you should always try to do. Lamine Yamal always become efficient, that's deficient in terms of attack when he's being, marked by 2 to 3 players. That's one thing. He gets away with 2 players, but with 3 players, he really suffers a lot. So one thing is, you try to shadow mark the midfield. And in terms of attack, you try your possible best that Lamine Yamal's side, you overload that place with numerous amount of players to be able to lower his efficiency with the ball. That's one thing. Now, another person might think, then the Spanish national team might have another option using the flanks of where Alex Baena played. Alex Baena is not that player who stretches very wide. Alex Baena at Atletico Madrid was one player, or at Villarreal, those times was one player who created a deep areas. He was a number 10. That's why 2025 season, he was the player with more chances created in the Spanish La Liga, because he was playing in advanced ways. He's very creative. So most of the times, Luis de la Fuente uses him in a way where he will drop into the midfield and come and join the midfield to form a box shape, occupy the left half space, and also Dani Olmo occupy the right half space, and Pedri and Rodri will be at the base to control the midfield. So that will be the boss midfield. Cucurella will patrol at the wings. Now, Cucurella is not that flamboyant left back you might know. He's very aggressive in terms of defense. He's not like that left back that will give you 1v1 instead like what Nuno Mendes will give you. You understand? So with that place, if you lock Lamine Yamal, it means less productivity is going to happen at that place, and it's going to affect the Spanish national team. Now, how do you prepare against this Portuguese side? This Portuguese side has proven several times that they shiver when they see teams press intensively against them. It might not be physical, but when you press them very high, they shiver, because these 2 defenders of them, that's Renato Vega and Gonzalo Inacio, it's not that type of defenders that with the ball they are too comfortable. So the Morocco, that's the Colombian national team, did amazingly very well against them, pressed them very high and dominated them in both halves. That's one thing about this Portuguese national team. And it seems the rhythm or the cohesion between the Bruno, Vitinha, João Neves midfield isn't there yet. They are trying to build that momentum. And I think it has not been there yet. But maybe this coach might prefer to go with Ruben Neves because of physicality. He wants to dominate physical duels in terms of midfield against the Spanish national team side. But I just feel like the cohesion isn't there still in the Portuguese national team midfield. So they dominating the midfield might be a bit difficult for them. And one thing Luis Enrique did in the Paris national team setup that made them look exceptional is how they rotate in terms of their midfield. The ball receiver isn't only Vitinha. There are sometimes João Neves does, and there are sometimes Vitinha too does that thing. And even Fabian Ruiz complement the midfield very well because you know Fabian Ruiz is an interior and he's being played in an advanced role. So he contributes without the ball and also with the ball, and they help the Paris midfield to be fluid. That's one thing Luis Enrique has done. But when you come into the Portuguese national team, there has been players who have been assigned into some various positions. So Vitinha is the number 6 as a controller. João Neves, the box-to-box, the destroyer, and also Bruno Fernandes, the creator. So it has made the system a bit rigid. So they are trying to find momentum because imagine playing a fluid system and coming into a system where there is a bit rigidity in. I think players sometimes find it a bit difficult to flourish in such system. So with the cohesion the Spanish national team is having, I think they should be able to have total control over this Portuguese national team midfield. I'm not saying they are not good enough to control the Spanish national team, but the thing is, if there is players adapting to a new system or a new role in a certain dispensation, it makes them things a bit difficult for them to flourish. So the Spanish national team should have total control over the Portuguese midfield. They might not like to chase the ball. So the moment you let them chase the ball, they leave a lot of spaces behind them, and you could be able to locate Lamine Yamal, Mikel Oyarzabal, and other players up front. That will cause a lot of havoc in terms of the defense of the Portuguese national team. And I think individual players too will make the difference. Portuguese national team might expect Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo to have the idea to be able to flourish today. The Spanish national team might expect Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Rodrigo Cascante, Dani Olmo, Mikel Oyarzabal, who is a top goal scorer, to have their day today to be able to flourish. And I think defensive discipline too will be very important because when you are playing against the Portuguese side, having Cristiano Ronaldo, he might not be the player you knew in the last 6 years, but he might be one player who might be dangerous in the box. He might need some few chances to convert into the net. So I think Pau Kubasi, they've maintained the defensive shape and their solidity from day one. They've not considered yet. Unai Simon is doing very well, but against Portugal, they should be alert at every moment because this Cristiano Ronaldo might not need 50 chances to score a single goal. He might need some 2 to 3 chances, and you are doomed. So these are the things the Spanish national team should be doing against the Portuguese national team, and the Portuguese national team too should be disciplined defensively. I know the Portuguese national team can't assure me defensive discipline. That's one thing because apart from Nuno Mendes, who is a bit outstanding, I think the other department of the Portuguese national team is, in terms of defense, is not that solid for me. They cannot assure me of something solid tonight, but all the same, it boils down to the game, what they are coming into the game, the cohesion they are bringing into the game. And it will be very important for them to do that against the Spanish national team to be able to qualify to the next stage of the competition. Someone might ask, what's your prediction, Mr. Malfoy? I just feel like Spain is having an edge over the Portuguese national team. It's a 50-50 game altogether. But I just feel at the end of the day, the Spanish national team might proceed to the next stage of the competition.